You have chosen wisely.
Welcome back to the second part of the Gegentakt Model M3 Dream Speaker review.
Definitely loud environment.
Stjernholm Reviews. Making hi-fi great again and saving the wildlife habitats of the world. Your sound, your music, your planet.
As attention spans, even among audiophile men, are going down the drain, I decided to split the speaker reviews into two parts. First part is all about setting up the expectations for the subjective listening sessions. Here in part 2, we will find out if the speaker delivers the promises as we subject them to the Silverback listening team.
I'm ready for the worst.
The heroic elite listeners working pro bono for wildlife protection.
Silverback! We are the Silverback! Hear that thunder roll! In the tweeters, hard in the stroll. High great again, no strings to pull. Join the sound, feel the truth, let the music. The sound believers, wave receivers, nature's friends and truth achievers. We build, we play, we give it back. We are the mighty Silverback.
Support those supporting honest reviews.
Stjernholm Reviews. Stjernholm Reviews.
Since this is a extremely powerful speaker designed for easy integration in normal homes, we smashed them up against the wall to begin with, just like it was intended. The participating members of the Silverback listening team were not in full agreement on their experiences with the Model M3. In the ongoing efforts to try new things, our most ripe and non-technical member, the music lover Carsten, got to listen totally blindfolded. Yes, he had no idea of the size or placement of the speakers. He didn't even know what he was about to listen to. We are also listening to the Genelec 8380A on the day for review efficiency, so the blindfold is only possible with the first pair of speakers for logistical reasons. Carsten turns to his most prized review classics for his initial assessment.
Selling heaven.
A pair of really nice speakers to listen to. There's a really good bass that's present. It comes through clearly without being overly deep or dominating, but it truly is there. It's well defined, and the intricate details are also included. These are the kind of details you typically find only in really high-quality speakers. The only thing I think it's her voice. It doesn't sound as full and warm as it usually does, but otherwise the music holds up quite well. And I also don't think that it has perhaps the same depth and wide sound stage. It's not as expansive as you'd find with other speakers, but it does feel a bit more present. It's more intimate, and I actually quite enjoy that once in a while. And they certainly are. I think it's been a lovely track and a pleasure to listen to, even though I might miss a bit more sense of space. But the speakers are very pleasant indeed. I have to say, they're definitely good at rock music. And it sounds absolutely fantastic too. And there's also more depth to the sound, and the vocals are really strong, and the guitars, they truly have a powerful impact. It's presented beautifully. It's a very clear, crisp, and clean sound. It's not one of those sounds that just gets muddy, and I think that's really quite good.
With a young lady on your arm.
His voice is so incredibly present, and it's absolutely insane how his voice just fills everything, and it's almost like he's standing right here in front of you, and it sounds so perfectly natural. It's truly wild, you know.
That is absolutely stunning.
After exploring the finer details, it was time to experience the sheer power and headroom of the Gegentakt bass system.
That you can feel!
According to his way.
That's just insane, man.
Oh, Mary. Never show your truth.
And not to forget its ability to deliver true-to-life dynamics.
Holy smokes! Det er sindssygt.
I've never heard anything like it.
With good recordings, they truly reward you.
Just like with my own experience, Carsten's impressions of the Model M3 just grows as he listens more.
I am feeling mighty lonesome. Haven't slept a wink. I walk the floor from 9 to
The bass, I think, precisely because it's not intrusive or boomy, as you say, it works incredibly well. And when the treble isn't shrill at any point, then there's not much that can cause listening fatigue.
I'd much rather have this one, and I can listen to it for ages without getting tired of it, than have another one that sounds amazing for the first 2 or 3 days I have it, and then you start to,
Oh yes, that's experience talking right there. Lars, fresh out of his session on the Genelec 8380A, shed some light on exactly this.
Maybe a little bit boring. I like a little bit of energy. I like the bass maybe a little better now compared to the Genelix, but wow, the Genelix were into the room, and this is a little more leaned back and a little more boring. And now I actually think I like the detail in the Genelix.
Maybe we can do one thing that might excite them a little bit more if we do something like this.
Yeah.
They are designed to be straight on, of course, but you can always play around with stuff like this.
Yeah.
Oh, Mary, what good is your crown with your heart on the ground? Oh, Mary.
Wow. That was exactly the experience I actually missed a little bit before with the Genelix, that you feel the bass in the room, and maybe that's because I like that. But that also gives a more coherent sound stage because it's across the full frequency range. I missed that bass with the Genelix. So this was really powerful, and they're not nearly as revealing. That's maybe also why they sound a little more home hi-fi-like instead of monitor-like.
That's just the way you make me feel.
With the speakers on axis to the listening position and repeating some of the tracks we played earlier, Lars discovers how much the soundstage is actually growing.
Huge and wide soundstage. It has the width that I missed with the Genelix. A little less metallic in the sound. Great dynamics also. And really the soundstage on both Janelle and Peter Gabriel is mind-blowing.
Could we just do a quick test of that Ballad of Bill Hubbard again?
Yeah, with the speakers towed in. Yeah.
That will tell us something.
Then crank it up. Wow. It's completely different, Morten. So now it's totally out there to the right.
90 degrees out there. We benefit from towing them in quite a bit.
I definitely
So you have them on axis.
So. Yeah. Low end was impressive and huge sound stage. I didn't miss anything from that. So I really liked the Peter Gabriel was amazing to listen to. A very, very good speaker.
Tim loved the trouser-shaking bass and the headroom.
That's phenomenal. That's almost impossible that they can do that.
But he found the mid-range a bit fatiguing.
I know. My iWatch friends, loud environment. No shit. Yeah.
No shit,
extreme bass performance, especially with the size of cabinet. They're too harsh in the midtones for me, I must admit. But especially when you play loud, but impressive bass. So they did a
very
good job
punchy
there.
down there as well.
Extremely tight, controlled, dynamic. also revealing down there. So they never feel phased, even with the crazy, crazy deep stuff. So much power. Definitely loud environment on my watch. Yeah.
Exactly. Gegentakt or point out that they deliberately tuned the M3 for real untreated rooms and long-term fatigue-free listening rather than immediate wow effects. That explains why some of us found it smooth and pleasant, while others felt it lacked a bit of initial excitement or mid-range spark.
I think they need a little bit EQ to taste, you know, depending on your own preferences, but also listening distance and so on, how your room is.
To me, these are terrific all-rounders that don't favor any specific genre. They grow on you over time and kick tremendous butt thanks to that. The Doc and I conducted a session exploring modes and various placements, maximum SPL testing and more, where the full all gloves off session is available to Patreon members.
Punch in the chest.
We were all really impressed with the control and tightness on a level we have not heard before in this room. The well-integrated DSP limiters makes it possible to explore the power without any worries.
They're a special set of speakers, so they deserve a place in the selection mode because they do something that almost no other speaker can do for the package, for the size. I like that they tried to do something that's not available, as far as I know, any other way for that size. So that's a worthy product. And they were never harsh in the top end, a little bit dampened in the high end.
It's a real home hi-fi speaker. It's an all-rounder that takes anything from electronic music to opera. So definitely a nice, high-performing hi-fi speaker.
I was really blown away by the dynamics and the way it just handled high SPL without breaking down. It just delivered the slam, full range slam, and a very great coherence between the tweeter waveguide and the mid-range made it very easy to just relax, and nothing sounded off-balanced once it was EQ'd right off the box without any EQ. It was a bit elevated in the heights. It's a full four-way active speaker with DSP, so you have really some opportunities to tune it to the room. Due to the cardioid principle, you can put it close to the front wall without the bass overpowering the room. So you really have some nice tools to integrate the speaker in your room.
The Gegentakt Model M3, in just the color you can imagine, is a very clever, powerful and practical solution that actually delivers on its promises.
For the money, I think it's 30,000 euro or something like that. It's really, I would say it's almost a bargain if there ever was one. Full active four-way, your ears give up before the speaker. Very coherent sound, slamming the bass tight, a nice top end, well integrated with a waveguide horn. I really didn't find anything that I didn't like.
Looking at alternatives, the Steinway Lingdorf Model A can match the shallow wall-friendly form factor and steps up in finish and luxury, but lacks active cardioid radiation and will introduce external amps at more than twice the price. If you don't care about the form factor, the Sigberg Audio Manta system is around the same price with a passive cardioid approach, coaxial mid-range and treble, and separate subwoofers. Now hang on for the pros, the cons, and the final Dreamspeaker review score. If you want more Dreamspeaker reviews, be sure to check out the Dreamspeaker playlist from the channel front page and dream away. No matter what you do, the truth always reveals itself when you just listen.
Just listen.
See you soon.
Masterful German engineering has once again delivered a glorious triumph. What a masterpiece of precision and power. The people of Germany can stand taller today.
Gauge intact? They'd whoop a feller good round here for bringing home something called that.
Earl, that sounds like pure balderdash. But why? That sounds so retarded.
Yes, them boys once took me out and ripped off my pants and
Nevertheless, I shall most certainly stand shoulder to shoulder with the awesome. Let's watch the next glorious review.